Peterman has a post about it about every week.
Yeah, they know where all the trails are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I was going to Austin one time for a thing, so I just asked him. Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, he will know it if it's within 200 miles. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Motion by Gary, second by Bill to approve minutes and agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Dale.
Just wanted to make the county aware of where we're at with the paramedic program since we're shortage right now. I've talked to you guys before on that, what's going on. I think we've got a plan in place till we get back to full staff. We've got a potential hire that we're offering employment, but he won't be able to start until next May. But in the meantime, we also have 2 eligible for retirement, so we might be replacing one with another. In the short term, we're hiring some part-timers to fill our main day gaps, but it's the night backup shift that we're going to be short. And the way we've been running it for a month, we tried it, and we run probably from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. with 1 medic on. And we're using that medic on the lottery system. Whoever calls for it first gets it first. Not necessarily Forest City's going to have the medic. So if Lake Mills is out on the call or Buffalo's out on the call and they request a medic, they're first to get the medic. They get it. Forest City doesn't. It's the only way I can see to make things run in the short term without burning out our whole department. So I just want to let you know that we aren't shorting the county, you know, in the sense of just the county alone. It will be the ambulance service and the county for the nights. And I think it'll probably only be 4 nights a week. We're hoping not to have it during the weekends, just during the weekdays, which, according to historical data, that is the busiest times is on the weekends. So, if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, it was just more of an update to let you know where we're at. The other thing is, if it keeps coming or keeps going the way it is, next year we'll probably be requesting a little bit more money because supply demand, we can't get anybody at the rates that are out there. So to get the people in, we may have to raise it, but we're going to go this year as is, see what next year brings.
Do you think it's mostly because of the money?
Partially because of money, partially because of shortage, partially because of the location. You know, we had a hard time getting people to apply even for part-time. We bumped those rates way up, and boom, all of a sudden I had 4 people apply. So the people that are out there with full-time jobs that are getting full-time benefits and everything else are looking to supplement. So they're looking at part-time, 1-2 days a month. We can handle that. Good income. So that's where we're at.
Tough job.
It's not good any place we go. I mean, we're so close to looking at county-wide services. It's not even funny. But last resort, we'll try this first and see what happens. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'll get out of your way and go from there. But again, I was just doing this just to let you guys know what's going on in case you guys have questions. Okay?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, let's move down to Scott.
I'm okay.
Hello. We're ready for you if you got some time.
Okay, I'll add it.
recess meeting?
I do not know. I got some stuff. You'll send it.
Well, to save a little time, I'll introduce Alyssa from the NCI. She's going to be explaining to us the reason we separated duties and things like that. So.
Mark that.
7 minutes.
They've got what's on the agenda today. I mentioned we started working on a bridge project, 67, just north of 842, box culvert project. So I got the road closed there. We did this one. It's closed. Couple weeks there, and we should have that.
Make the one on 150th.
I don't know if it's open yet, but I know they have boxes in the ground. We're back going. If not, already it is.
You want to check out 20170 345th Street? There's a nasty hole there.
Say it again.
But, 20, 170, or 170, 345th Street. Dale Reineke. Buses, everything has to go around it. I guess it's ready.
I have to swerve one all the time for some reason. 450th Street right next to my brother-in-law's place, just to be honest. I go there all the time, and I don't get it. Just about a third of a mile west of Kent Avenue.
Okay. Move on to 5, then Golden Plains Wind Farm Road agreement.
So, as you guys know, the permit for the wind turbine, wind farm project is moving forward, and that project has an agreement with the road department, spelling out the expectation for taking care of roads and varying utilities and all those things in the right of way. And that's the agreement they have for you today. It's a little bit lengthy, so I'll point out some of the highlights.
Is that the same thing you emailed us?
Yes.
Yeah.
The agreement pretty much requires us to do all of the permits and site layouts for the project, which we're still waiting to receive. We'll do a pre-construction survey of the roads, and then also do that afterwards and make sure that the roads end up as they are now or better after the project. personally haven't gotten a lot of complaints, so I think that's working pretty well. Talked about things like having markers at the right-of-way lines for where they cross with utilities, with the collection system. Talked about permits for driveways and the widening of the road where they need to widen intersections in order to get the loads around. All those culvert sizes and all that stuff would be approved by our office. Talk about road closures and what signing requirements, road crossings with the crane and what it takes to do so. Provides for a performance bond to be submitted by the developer with the amounts based on the traffic inspection, transportation inspection. Reimbursement of costs from our office for anything above and beyond our normal operations. And again, emergency repair work or even time for us to be out there inspecting and reviewing all these kinds of things that they'll be submitting. Liability insurance, but for 1 year maintenance period after the repairs are made, to give us a chance to make sure that everything holds and nothing shows up after the fact. Agreements. What was it? Duration of the part of the contract. So,
Complete their project or
complete the project, complete all the repairs, and then a 1 year maintenance period. And then,
Is there a sign off by you?
sign off would be the release of the performance bond.
Okay.
And there's a couple of different steps along the way where that's the amount to be adjusted based on the maintenance period starts.
To me, it looked reasonable. Motion to approve. Oh,
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I assume you meant you'll take them.
I'll take a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the Golden Plains Wind Farm Road and collection agreement with the Renewables Development Incorporated.
I'll second.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Terry to approve the Golden Plains Wind Farm Road collection agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll go back to number 3. Alyssa.
I have a little correction. Actually, I'm Erin, but that's okay.
Erin.
My sister is Alyssa, so that's fine.
Okay.
Let's see, one, kind of pass it on. So I'm Mary Barkema. I'm with the Iowa Department of Public Health. I'm a regional community health consultant, and I cover 17 counties, north central and northeast of Iowa. My main role is to be a liaison between the Iowa Department of Public Health and the Board of Health, and then also to work with the administrators and staff. That means that we provide kind of answers as they go through kind of the public health world. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about the separation of duties with public health. I know there's been a little maybe misinformation or miscommunication on what's kind of happening. So last week we received a request about Iowa code for 2 administrators. It came from a radio station out of Story City. And our response to that from Iowa Department of Public Health, their question was, is there a law for public health that states that you have to have 2 administrators? We said that no, there isn't a law, but there isn't a law on the public health side. So on the CMS side, so if you think about public health as being kind of a home care and a public health organization, on the home care side, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services is CMS. They actually have specific requirements for you to have a public health or have a home care agency. Within that, if you have an administrator who does not have either a medical license to practice as a physician or an RN, you have to have someone who's in that capacity. And so that's why, as you can see in the structure, that's why Allison has been named as the clinical services manager, and then you have Julie over as the administrator herself. So I just put together a quick little TO so you can kind of see what that looks like. Right now, the Board of Health is over Julie as the public health administrator, and then Allison is the clinical services manager with functional oversight over the aides and the RNs within the agency. Julie then also has direct supervision over the office staff and environmental health. So technically you don't have two administrators, you have one administrator, and then you have one person doing the clinical side or more of the home care aspects of public health. So with that, then they both were promoted. So it's not necessarily just a bump in pay, but it was a promotion from their old job duties to their current, so their new job duties overall. What questions do you have, I guess, about what has happened, any other kind of aspects that's going on over at public health?
I don't have any questions. I've already gone over the Board of Health meetings, so.
Just to clarify, you've got Julie as the public health administrator.
Correct.
And the clinical services manager was being done by the previous administrator.
So prior to, it would have been January of this last year, the CMS Medicare had a requirement that you didn't have to have, and it's not necessarily a requirement right now for a clinical services manager. It's highly recommended that you have an individual who's separate from an administrator to deal with kind of the day-to-day operations of home care. So yes, in the past, Ruth served as both the administrator and kind of in that clinical services manager role. With moving toward having Julie as the administrator, since she's not an RN or an MD, you do have to have some type of person with a medical professional in a role that is there for 24/7 coverage. And then it's highly recommended by CMS to have that clinical services manager now. It's not a requirement, but they're being very proactive as a Board of Health and moving toward this, because I have a feeling over the years they'll move toward making it a requirement to have the two. That's typically how things work, is they make a recommendation and then the next iteration typically tends to have that individual be separated.
Was that added? The final mandate did come out on August 31st, and it was they did call it a regulation. And so that's why we made the recommendation to the Board of Health.
Any other questions? Yeah, I know it's when you start to move in regulation and all these other, you've got, it's just different, right? What you have to deal with and manage at the county side. Plus, I know the Board of Health being an autonomous board, there's always that kind of gray area as to what the board is responsible for versus what the Board of Supervisors has kind of an authority over it too. So.
I guess I will say this to defend our position with Allison and the bump in pay. There's no way I would do it for what she did it for, having to be on call 24/7. And we couldn't find anybody else to do that. So.
And really what they're making is, it's like fair market value for their positions. So I actually do a wage survey every year and look at what other public health administrators are making. And they're well within kind of that range within your area overall for the different types of duties that they have assigned to them now. So.
Are there other counties that have a similar configuration like this?
Yes, Veragordo has that where the administrator is not an RN or an MD, so Ron Osterhold is not within either of them. And then he has a clinical services manager that's over all of their community health. And then Bremer County, and that's been that way since he's retired this year, it's been like 30+ years that they've had that structure. Bremer County is probably my most recent. Their administrator actually has a master's in public health, So she, again, isn't a nurse or an MD, and she has a clinical services manager that takes care of all that. I think more and more you'll find that you might be moving toward that in other counties, just because of the fact that on the nursing side and finding a nurse who wants to do some of the administrative pieces, you have more luck with somebody in a master's prepared position, whether it's telehealth or home care or health administration, versus having a nurse who wants to do administration. A lot of nurses would actually prefer doing nursing rather than all the paperwork and the grant writing and all the reporting.
There's a lot.
Right? Yes. Yes.
And I will say, when I talked to another county who have had their survey come from the Department of Inspection and Appeal, their very first question that the surveyors asked was, do you have a clinical manager? And when was that person hired? Because it will be a citation. And then you have 45 days to correct that. So we were trying to be proactive. And we expect our surveyors to come soon.
Okay. I think everything's answered. Thank you much. Aaron.
Oh, just a point of clarification, I believe the inquiry from the radio station was from Forest City.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just texted our stations over in Storage City, and I'm going, why?
Okay. It was.
I'm gonna have to answer that.
That's
My
how the
campaign on
information.
AT.
That's how the information came to our. When my CIO sent it to us, our public information officer asked me questions about it. It said Story City. So my apologies.
Well, my question is,
I
when we contacted the department itself,
Yeah.
the director, she said she had no knowledge. And
The
that's what stirred this whole thing up.
which director? I think you probably received our media director, which she wouldn't know it. She doesn't know the ins and outs of any of it. My boss then had said that we don't have a code that talks about it. And the reason they would have said that they had no idea about two administrators is because I've never shared with them that there were two administrators, because there aren't two administrators. There's an administrator and a clinical services manager. So they wouldn't have known anything about it because I've never spoken about it. Because that isn't the case. That's
The
not
question
the
that I formed, which was one administrator and one central office manager, or someone that handles compliance. The person, the public information officer, had no idea about this.
Right, she wouldn't. She knows the information in general. We have over 484 employees and over 40 programs. So she wouldn't know the ins and outs of each of the programs. So she has to ask through the kind of channels to my boss, and then my boss asks me about what's going on, and then we kind of shared it up. Her overall response is that Iowa Code for Public Health doesn't say that you have to have two administrators. It's on the Medicare side that says that you have to have a separate individual, a clinical services manager, from your administrator. And it's totally different. They're totally different animals when it comes down to county government. And so that would have been a second reply. And I kind of shared that with them, that we probably need to say, that's the public health side, but there might be regulation that comes down from the CMS side. And we didn't get the second half of.
No, all I got was a quote from somebody who said that they were in charge of the whole thing, and that she had no knowledge.
My fault.
No worries, I find it interesting that the public information officer doesn't have that information anymore. Is willing to contact me back and say, well, we're gonna find this information out for you.
Or give you a
Can't
number.
find, can't flat out.
Give you a number
say-
where you can find it out.
Yeah, they didn't do that, they just said flat out, no, there is no such regulation.
Right. They didn't give you the CMS side. They didn't send you the DIA. Yeah.
Curious,
My apologies.
that's okay.
More complication. Sounds like paperwork.
It's better.
Okay. Chris, we're done for that agenda item. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to.
I wasn't sure if I was dismissed the pledge. I haven't said the pledge in a really long time, so I didn't know if I had.
Because we're gonna talk drainage now, if you're interested, you're welcome to
That's
stay.
environmental health, way over my purview. Thank you very much, guys.
It's really entertaining.
I bet so.
It all runs down. This one? Oh, she's
I'm all like, wait
okay.
for that.
Anything? Thank you. Open forum. Anybody got anything you want to say? Aaron, this would have been a real. We would have had a chance, huh? What's the credit mean? The CR credit?
Means that they're in the hole.
Or saying I'll get back to you when I have to figure out what to say tomorrow.
Well, I've got the press secretary for checking this out. Leo with Senator Grassley's office, he's really curious how else is happening.
Well, you know, that's probably not bad, because here's a mandate that has control over Medicaid and Medicare that affects us.
Well,
And
curiosity is why is it straight from the Fed to the county instead of to the state?
well, it isn't really. It's through Medicaid.
That's my point.
Yeah, I know it, and that's probably good. Why they will still check it out, because here's a classic example of mandates affecting lower governments and drastically. So, yeah, unfunded. So we wouldn't get any Medicaid or Medicare claims if we didn't do this. They wouldn't process them.
I realize that,
Yeah.
it's just the whole thing triggered when we were talking about going from Fed to county.
Yeah.
Versus state. That's what it calls.
Well, you get a little bit of that too with the Army Corps of Engineers in Winnebago River. It's not the only government function that goes from Fed to county, so that's really a nightmare, because we can't do anything with Winnebago River. Well, yeah,
Process.
yeah, it's a,
How much do you want to spend?
yeah. Alrighty.
So you guys see the article on our website today about county public health.
Changing?
Changing trends happening down the state.
I didn't know.
It's in here on here. It's in here on here.
I rarely listen to the radio, so.
I didn't hear that.
Listen to it all day long, but I'm distracted by other things. That's not what I'm important or something.
Distracted by what? There is a program, and I would suggest highly that you not discuss or force or jury block over Hancock County. Currently, Hancock County pays $100,000 into the Hancock County Health System. They manage the public health program. In a request for information, we discovered that over $1 million, close to 1.2, is spent by this county, and only $100,000 is spent by Hancock County. It's less than such, as far as land is concerned.
As far as what is
As
concerned?
far as land is concerned, land space, the county's own twice as big,
Yeah.
but not necessarily not much.
Hancock is only a third. Got one tier.
Well,
They have 16, we have 12 townships. But anyway,
semantics. The whole point is that the county has saved almost $1.3 million in public health expenses because the
over
hospital
how many years?
Well, their hospital has it all,
Right.
and somehow they're taking care of getting all the funding and all that stuff. And I think we'd be hard pressed to find anybody here in Monroe County that wants to take that on.
There are 38 out of the 99
talk about have a hospital with their county.
Mercy won't do it.
Many of them have clinics, like Mercy Medical
But
Center,
Mercy
which
won't
does-
do, Mercy won't do this. Already checked.
There's also, of course, the Fund House of the Rochester. They might look into this because the county grant funding available to do something like that, and they do have clinics here inside the county.
But you said we spent 1.1 million? Over how long?
Over a year.
No.
Was that the
No.
year that we had?
No.
Well, public health's budget is 1.4 million.
So 1.4 million.
No, that's not the county's portion.
The county's portion is 312,000-ish.
See, a bunch of that's reimbursed by.
Oh, Medicaid, yep.
Medicare.
Private pay and.
So you're still, if you were to do it the same way the impact county does it, you would have a savings of over $200,000.
If we can find somebody to do it.
I've said for 2-3 years now, we have to have a serious discussion, countywide discussion on public health. We do. It's coming.
Not that they should matter in a sense, but if you go talk to some of the ex-Impact County, employees, none of them like that. Oh, no, yeah, I mean, but no one, it's what's best for the taxpayers, what's best for the county.
And I agree with you, taxpayer, but, on the same token, what kind of services are the people getting? And there's the discussion we've gotta have, you know, because I know a couple people in Lake Mills that, if I could, I would cut them off. They don't need it, but you can't by law. So, there's just so many stupid things when it comes to healthcare that.
The services that I get from this county budget, the services are exactly the same. The only difference is that the counties don't rely on the encoding portions being done by their employees, so to speak. It's done basically by the hospital. Everything is done technically by the hospital, the reimbursements from the winter, because it is through a hospital as opposed to the county. But the services are,
That shouldn't matter.
almost identical with regards to it. So you're still doing all the paperwork and everything else like that. But it's different.
They'll put a lag in paying for the services, for counties, but they pay a hospital first.
I don't
can't
know.
believe that they really expect it.
Yeah, I don't know, but at least they can get everything reimbursed, that's what I'm saying. That all that stuff is reimbursed through.
Well, we do too, but at a percentage. The percentage is falling drastically. It's 70% now with Medicaid. So I mean, we got to make up that 30% somewhere. There again, it comes back to we just got to have a discussion publicly, you know, with the people. How good are we going to keep those that need that care? How well are we going to do it? I guess put it that way. And I'm all for going to a situation like that. And I've let the Board of Health know that. But I guess he has more to say. You got more to say?
No. Sorry, I ran over. Just thought I'd listen.
So one of the questions, Julie, I've got a question for you as long as you're here. Do you think it's more of a state problem or a federal problem that how we got here? Take your time.
Combination of both, I believe.
Well, it's mainly through Medicaid, Medicare.
Right.
Is our problem. So it really is a problem that the feds made for us.
Well, having having the IME going privatized has not helped. No, we have struggled a little bit now with, the MCOs not paying on some things. And,
Would you refresh my memory, because I said 70%. I want to make sure I'm right on that. Is it 70%, average roughly about 70% we get reimbursed?
Medicaid?
Okay,
And I have my red.
because that's the figure I threw out, and
I'm thinking off the top of my head, I want to say 75 to 85 right now.
okay, all right.
And that's just,
So it's variable?
It's
Yeah.
on the payment, really.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
So Medicaid may reimburse you at a specific contract level.
right,
Medicare may be giving you more.
right.
So my new analogy, with just checkbooks is like on a county checkbook level, because it's always hard. I've got one supervisor in another county who expects that every month everything be squared away, and it doesn't happen that way. So my checkbook analogy is the county checkbook is kind of like our personal checkbooks for the most part. We get paid monthly or bi-monthly or however it is, and that we know that money's going to be there and we can budget for it accordingly. So same thing with the county. I have my county tax dollars. I can divvy it out. Now I've got things coming in, I've got things going out, but it's pretty regular. The public health checkbook is totally different. So it's almost like it's getting paid by odd jobs. So I'm doing odd jobs, and the money comes in when this person decides to pay me, which is what's happening to them. For the most part, grants that they get from the Iowa Department of Public Health, they put in for the money because we've said that they can have it, we get it to them. Medicare is a totally different beast, because you're getting things, they have a 60-day time frame, and then they have to bill. If they've got other things that are in with that, like physical therapy, speech therapy, they have to wait for those people to get a bill, send it back. So they're really on this revolving 2 to 3 months behind kind of thing. And then, many years ago, 5-10 years ago, Medicare would pay, and that's probably what I might explain, more than what it costs to provide the care. Now they're paying anywhere from 75 to 85%. So really, your county tax dollars are supplementing the rest of that to meet what it costs for them to do it. They're not making money on it at all. So there's no extra. So years ago, you were able to kind of count on Medicare to help pay for other services like public health and other things. Now you're having to use your county tax dollars to help supplement that.
The lag in paying that comes, why would it be that it seems like Hancock County, we have a lag in getting paid, and they give us information that says that Hancock County is getting their money better because it comes through a hospital. Is there really two entities like that? Is there really a difference in who gets reimbursed first? Or?
So the hospital may have, with Medicaid, so it might be different payers working too. Are you aging?
Yeah, I play one on radio.
Perfect. So I just want to make sure I know who's who. So Medicaid actually, when each agency contracts with now each of the MCOs, they have that rate. They might have been able to negotiate a higher rate for it, but paying wise, it typically doesn't. It depends on, do you have the right codes listed? Sometimes the processor, you can use the same code every single time, and that processor doesn't accept that code. So they will try, then they've got to call back and you've got to figure out what is it that they're looking for, what's wrong with the claim. So they may have processors that are not changing how they're processing, or they might have negotiated a higher contract rate for reimbursement.
Why would there be a difference for the same service?
It's just how the MCOs, it could be because they're hospital-based, it could be because of the outcomes that the hospital can show, and then they go from there. It's how the MCOs have operated since they began.
One of the questions is what brought up here is why, Hancock County spends $100,000 a year for their public health in the hospital. Somehow is doing it all. How are they not having the same issues that we are?
So funding-wise, there's two kind of ways in thinking. Some boards of health in my region and also throughout the state will say, you get a finite amount of money. So I'm gonna give you $100,000, and you have to budget within that $100,000 that you're gonna receive, plus your anticipated revenues versus the expenses that you have. Those places tend to have a cap on services, so they may come back and have to say, you know, you used to get services twice a week, we have to go to every other week now to be able to provide those same services within the scope of the dollars that we have. There are others that run on a deficit fund. So if you deficit fund your public health agency or your health department, they will bring a budget request to the Board of Supervisors at the beginning based on revenue and expense. They'll fund them for that amount, and then if they go over, they'll do the math and, you know, move things around, and then they'll continue to fund whatever deficit that they have at that time.
And that's the serious discussion we are gonna have to have as a Board of Health.
Yeah.
What kind of services? And I think it should be countywide and have the public involved, but
Because you'll have to have that. You're going to have to ask, like, what point. I know, you know, a couple of administrators ago, if that person came in, we were going to serve everybody, like, regardless. We were going to help people out. If that's your philosophy, you know, you can have the philosophy like the Chinese have, where the elderly are, like, we're going to focus all of our efforts on them. We're going to pay what we have to pay to keep, you know, to make sure they have a high quality of life at the end. Not saying they have to pay for everything that the elderly need within your county, but you're going to have that discussion, both the Board of Health and then also on the asking side to the Board of Supervisors. You know, this is the amount of money that we're willing to invest in the health of the people that live. Whether it's even the care side when they're older, or even the preventative side, because we're at this like crossroads. If we don't start putting money into prevention, we're just going to have more and more chronic diseases, and those chronic diseases are going to require more and more money to take care of people when they're ill or sick in their homes or can't get things done. So we have to kind of put some money into the front side and hope to delay those chronic diseases, so we're not spending more money for that.
That's what it's in, prevention here, but, yeah, I mean, I just can't see how the hospital running that would give. I mean, the county's on someone's paying the bill somewhere.
well, no,
They down there.
like you said, we are probably 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe Hancock has said, okay, we're not gonna take care of.
Instead of twice a
You
week,
can
it's
you can
gonna be-
clean up your house twice a month instead of us coming in court, you know.
They actually don't have a homemaker
They don't
program
have a
any
homemaker
longer,
program.
so they're not going into homes. There's two different levels of personal care homemaker services or home care aid. There's homemaker where you're doing more of the cleaning, the laundry, some of the meal preparation, you know, like what a homemaker would do. Then there's personal health services or personal care where you're doing the bathing and some of the other kind of hands-on types of things that actually has shown to decrease the number of institutionalizations, because you can't, you know, you don't have a way to take baths or do some of that stuff, then you have to be institutionalized. And it's actually a lot cheaper to have someone come in and do that personal care than it is obviously to go into a nursing home setting, because that's just so expensive.
Cheaper for the
Family.
not for the taxpayers of Winnebago County.
Right. And there are ways that we can look too at like their sliding fee scale. So if they are admitting people in, they have a sliding fee scale. So it'll show what their income is and then what they're expected to pay to help supplement those services. We can look at that as well, and that can help offset some of the amount of money that they're paying for their care versus what you're paying for their care.
You remember offhand what it cost for Otis when you were coming every day? And I'm Ms. Power.
his payer,
You don't have to worry about HIPAA, because,
his payer was
yeah, right.
So
But do you
Medicaid,
remember what it
so for the
cost?
nurse, it wasn't much on his sliding scale, it was like $7 an hour maybe,
Oh, really?
to have somebody just come in and clean.
No, you're like taking care of the wound.
The wound, that was under his Medicaid.
That was Medicaid.
Okay,
and
That
so,
was Medicaid.
and so with Medicaid is different than when you're talking about
Yeah.
the private pay people, because Medicaid is what they will reimburse you,
okay.
and then what they will reimburse you from what it actually costs for them to do it is what the taxpayers are paying.
So
That's
here's
even before.
Here's a classic example with Otis. I'm gonna guess $1,000 a month?
Over.
More?
Over. He was
2,000?
daily, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was daily, a year daily.
2,000? I want to figure because we got to compare. Just rough. It doesn't have to be.
Probably 2,500.
Okay, so there's 2,500. Where if we'd have put him in the nursing home, would have been 8,500.
Right.
You know, so
So it's a valuable service. It's just a question of who can pay for it. And some people
But Medicaid
pay
pays
for
for
the nursing fees.
the nursing
Right.
fees.
You pay the remainder of what Medicaid reimbursed you versus what it costs for them to be
Right.
able to do the service.
And so
You
at
would
that
be getting more than
at that time, I will tell you that our nursing fee was $110. And at that time, I know Medicaid was paying us $104. So do the math.
And then you covered $6 for every visit that
For you guys.
ultimately.
Nobody's gonna argue that it's not a service. I mean, my mother got to stay at home for the last several lives because of public health.
Right.
Where the Hancock really isn't saving any money, they're just providing less services, is the way it sounds to me, so
They're providing a different level, and they may be able to
it looks
use,
good for their budget because there's only 100,000 coming out, but
Right.
it's coming from somewhere.
and maybe, like you say, they might be using some of their, and I can't remember the terminology that they have to use for hospital cost reports when they report, but they might be using some of that community benefit dollars to help pay, to offset some of the costs as well, I'm not sure.
Aren't services over at Worth County?
Some of their youth and health group is over there. Some of their higher level.
Well, see, they have nursing home care that comes into their county, where in Winnebago we're it. But we don't have another agency coming in. So Worth County doesn't provide a lot of services that we do in-home physical therapy under a Medicare person, they don't do that. In-home therapy.
They don't do index.
But yeah, they don't do what we do.
They don't do
And is that good or bad? I don't know.
They also, though, provide a large amount of support in Worth County for public health. I can't remember what the exact dollar amount is right now, but even on their sliding fee scale, so requirement by state law, so Chapter 80, which serves our local public health services dollars, which we give to Winnebago to provide care. We pay at least $10,000. You can start bumping people up levels to pay. They actually they're going to forgive the first $200,000. So a lot of because they can use their farm assets as well as a part of figuring out their assets. They forgive, and it might even be more than that. They forgive a large amount of money before they even have people starting to pay, because they do have the extra financial support from the board of supervisors to cover it.
And a casino.
and the casino.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
And I do just want to mention, I know y'all know people personally who's receiving services, but I just want to, we need to be quiet about names
Yep.
and what we actually do for them. It's all their privacy.
And there again, that's a discussion we're gonna have because I feel like I know a couple people we take care of in Lake Mills that I don't think we should, home health care and stuff like that. So, is it nice to be able to do it? Yes, but, well, that's a discussion we're gonna have.
Are you defining by we shouldn't have to do it as in at our cost?
Yeah.
We can still provide the services, but
Oh,
they
yeah,
should be paying for it.
if they want it, then they should.
So, and I'm not sure what level, which is best. If you as a board of supervisors want to have a discussion on how much money, what your top dollar is that you're willing to invest, and then the Board of Health talk about, okay, how would we do that within that bounds? Or if you want the Board of Health to talk about what they need to provide a high level of care, a high level of nursing, be a high functioning health department, and then come back and tell you what they want and what they need to do. And I'm not sure how you'd like to go about
Well,
that.
they're not gonna like to hear this, but bureaucracies tend to, we gotta have this, we gotta have this, so, that will be an interesting discussion. It
And there's
really
some
will
things
be.
that I've actually done, and maybe we could do that as an exercise, just to see how it works. I've actually worked with Fayette County. They are a health system based like Hancock is for their public health. We actually sat down and figured out all of their funds, where it's coming from, all of their sources of revenue, and then we figured out kind of where those dollars go. They no longer use the state grant money that we give for home care services. All of those dollars are spent through the $105,000 that they receive from the Board of Supervisors. So it's easier as well for their Board of Supervisors to say, like, we're touching people with this money. It's not population-based health. That's harder to kind of wrap your mind around because that's more of that preventative side. But they've been able to do great things actually now that they've figured out how much they have and how they can build those things to that, you know, to the Board of Supervisor dollars with their direct service provision. And then they're able to use the other dollars for more of their public health stuff. Because either way, you're doing it, right? They're doing public health things, but it's coming out of your Board of Supervisor money. You know, it's coming out of that support. But we can show it better to help you explain where you're investing those dollars within the county if we go that route. So there's some options like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't start supplementing until about 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago?
Oh, no.
Well, there's years on, when I've been on,
I gave you guys those sheets the other day. Did anybody have them still?
Terry, how long have you been on?
My 8th year.
And that's probably why I'm saying, you know, the last 10 years, we've had Medicare that's been able to pay. And as Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements have gone down, that's probably why you had to start supplementing.
There were years that we had it in the budget, but
Yeah.
didn't have to use it.
You didn't have to use it. Yeah, right. And that's because of that. It would
Right,
cover
so
the rest of the services.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying, we didn't supplement for some of
Right,
those years.
right.
We've done, I did a spreadsheet and it was like $1.2 million over
13 years.
something like that. Yeah.
So about 100,000 a year.
Right. On
There you go.
average, but you might not have had to use the others. Yeah.
But the last year's costs are higher than the first.
Right.
Because, well, I know 2 or 3 years ago, we had very extensive.
It was at the
Patients.
hike. Well, and it
That
depends
was
on the
the-
hike on it. Did you have a hike in health insurance and fringe for the county? I know there's many that had that year where all of a sudden, when health insurance was changed, there was a huge bump in fringe. And that has to come from somewhere, you know, and so that then affects what it is that you're paying for as well, because it has to come from somewhere.
So that was due to what?
An increase in health insurance rates.
We haven't had huge bumps in our health insurance rates.
Okay. There were a lot of counties that did, and so then they were like, all right, well now I've got to come up with almost, you know, a quarter of what, or whatever it was that we were paying before, because now all of a sudden our health insurance rate.
You're talking about for our benefits?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a huge change, so if you haven't experienced that part, then interesting. Be thankful that you haven't, because some of them have.
I know 3 years ago, we had to hire those 2 nurses full-time because of our increase of people.
Yeah,
And then our survey, because that was part of our survey then.
yeah, because you're simply put up in.
Yep,
You
and we
can
had
have that higher caseload for nurses.
And we had part-time people working full-time.
Can you contract out nurses? Can the Board of Health contract nurses? Like say our workload increases 25% all of a sudden, but we don't anticipate that staying that way for more than 8 months.
Yeah.
Can we contract nurses to take care of that bump for the 8 months?
There have been other counties that have actually contacted the counties around them to see if they have a decrease in census, and then they've been able to do like a services agreement between the two counties so that they can bring in some of those nurses to help. So they're not having to lay off staff, and you're not having to hire staff.
Right.
So there has been, you can do it with nurses, you cannot do it with an administrator.
Could you do it with an administrator if there was a 20-EPA agreement to share?
You can share an administrator if that, and this comes back to the federal regulations. So back to the home care side. So federal regulations do not allow you to have a permanent shared administrator if your service area isn't the same service area. So right now you have your county, and you may have a small amount outside of each outside of your, it's normally about 30 miles you can go. So, we've talked about cross-jurisdictional sharing at the Department of Public Health, because there are places you cannot find an administrator. Like, they just, as a county, cannot do it. So they actually can form, or as a Board of Health, you could actually have another agency authorized to do the home care side or the public health side for you. But you have to have both counties as your service area. Otherwise, it's not, they don't allow it. So it's like a satellite office, and that's allowable. But you cannot share one if you're both certified for Medicare or Medicaid. All the fun ones. You know, can we do this? Nope, that gets squashed because of this other reason.
You can at the state level, but not at the federal level.
Correct. Yeah, we have to be careful. And like I said, home care and public health departments are just a different animal in county government, because we've got to be careful with both the state regulation and the federal regulation.
Again, it's just gonna have to be a discussion.
So do you think it would be beneficial to have public forums around the county to start that discussion before budget time? Get input from the taxpayers?
Either that or just have one meeting and say, and publicize it, really publicize it, and say it's important to be here, and then we'll find out how important it really is, you know, to the county. It's, I'm not sure too many people think about it. Do you? I really don't. Until they
Not
need
until
it.
you're effective.
Until they need it, yeah.
So like last year was a big year for public health, because the people remembered that public health was there because they had so many flu deaths, right? Our flu death numbers went up and up and up, and people were like, how are we going to squash that? Well, if you get a flu shot, you're less likely to die from flu. And so public health becomes known. If you have a natural disaster or something else that happens, you talked about drainage issues, you know, if all of a sudden you've got this huge environmental health problem, that's when people think about it. They don't think about it because it just happens. I mean, it's like roads. Roads just happen, right? You were talking about potholes. They're just there. You drive on them. It's great. I haven't ruined my car. Well, until something happens like, hey, I've got a big pothole and I need to go take care of it. That's typically when we start to think about those behind the scenes types of things.
Unfortunately, the people that need the services aren't always the ones that pay for it all. And the people that don't need the services that sometimes don't like paying for it, but they don't realize that their turn is probably coming. You know, and it usually goes around. Unfortunately, us people, we should be cool. There's going to be more and more. I don't think there's going to be less work.
No, and in actuality, and they'll find out more, and we can share some of that data with you. I've got someone from, because I have a region, I actually have a regional meeting every quarter, and so I've got someone from our Iowa Data Center coming to talk about what the population looks like 2030, 2050. I don't know if you'll still be sitting on the Board of Supervisors at that point in time.
I won't be.
But that's what we're going to share with them on Thursday, is just kind of thinking about, you know, how do we plan for those baby boomers? Because right now, the volume that they have is limited. I mean, it's smaller, but when baby boomers start needing all that care, it's going to grow, right? Because you're going to want to stay in your homes, and you're going to want to be able to get that same level of care. So we can share some of that data with you as well. It talks about in-migration and out-migration and all these other data terms that we have to.
Would you be willing to come back for that public meeting?
Yes, yes, they have to. And any other, your budget meeting and any other type of meeting you'd like to do.
Don't want to cut it short. Any other issues to address?
Over here, we don't want them running back.
No, I'm just now like, my
Yeah,
heart burning anymore.
I think my heart rate finally just
Well, I appreciate you coming back. So let's, as long as we're talking about it, maybe we should talk, do you think one meeting would be good?
I don't know. That's
Yeah, I did all those public forums all over the county, trying to get people to come to those forums are tough. You know, you gotta wait till after harvest, and a little bit later harvest this year. I just wonder if we should have at least two to spread it out and get more input. Otherwise, if you put one in Port City, there's people in Lake Mills and Buffalo Center that might not be able to get it.
If that's the case, then we probably should have three.
Maybe you should
Yeah.
get one of each.
I think
One of each each one of
One
the
in each.
communities.
The three biggest communities can go one of three ways, three choices.
We could definitely do more, I mean, since you're having a discussion about it, we could definitely do more of an overview of what they can provide, just so people understand.
I think the more information we have going into that meeting, the better.
Yeah, so we can give you that as well, and as a part of the meeting, if you wanted, we could just do like an introductory, this is what they can, you might not know it, because you might not need it yet, or you might not know because you haven't been specifically affected by it, but here's what they're doing in kind of the background, but then here's the home care side and what is available. Because home care isn't just for elderly, you know, it can be for other people as well, and so it could be, you know, you're my age and I blow out my knee, and I have my husband who has to drive all the way to Des Moines every day, but I need somebody to come in and help me out with it. I could go to them and do it too. It's not just, you know, the elderly that can receive services. So we could do an
Now,
overview.
if Otis would have had to go to the nursing home, that 1 year, Medicaid would have paid how much, do you know? Then we would have to pick up the rest, right? Is that correct?
I think the nursing home's the same, where they get X dollars to take care of
Yep,
somebody.
X dollars amount, yep,
On their level.
on their level, so,
Whether
yes, he has to meet a level of care too.
There's a prime example of well, he's not young, but he needed, and by the way, so,
And I think they used to have it, I don't know if they still do, but Medicaid actually isn't a, free service thing. So they actually will, when you're done settling the estate, if you've got additional funds, Medicaid will come back for what you used.
And that is absolutely true.
So,
I had a hard lesson on that one with Otis, because
Right,
yep.
he got run over by a truck,
yeah,
and the truck's insurance approached us and wanted to settle. We weren't even, Otis didn't even really want to sue, but we want to settle. Well, he settled, and Medicaid took a third of his settlement, and if I'd have known that,
right. And so that's something people don't know either.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh yes, I qualify for Medicaid, I'm gonna use Medicaid, I'm good. But if there's an estate, and we have a lot of that with farmland, right, that is kind of tied up, and then when farmland is done and we sell it out and we settle the estate, they will come back for some of those dollars. And so, that prevention side is really important. You know, the less we can get people using Medicaid, the services that they need to have when they're still in their homes, actually the better it is on the back end for their estates as well.
Okay.
Well, I think if we get more information, then we can maybe plan those meetings.
Well, it doesn't sound like Hancock has that great of an advantage over us other than, because the buck's gotta come from somewhere. They have the same problems down there that we got up here, and if we're providing more services, then we have to wonder whether we wanna cut.
right, that's the discussion.
That's the discussion.
So the only thing Hancock doesn't do though is the go in and clean, that kind of stuff? Or do they do the bathing, that kind of stuff?
They are doing personal care and they're doing skilled nursing. They probably have a lower census on it though, because they do have the other home care agencies who will come into the county. So they're not, right now, they're really kind of the only provider that is able to do it, or will do it within the county. Hancock actually has other agencies that will come in and do it, so they have multiple options for providers.
So like what other kind of agencies?
Who else goes in? Mercy Home Care.
And I spoke to the business financial manager at Hancock County because we bounced ideas off, and I asked her how many Medicare people they have on services right now. They have 2. I have 6. I have 40 Medicaid, and she has 39.
And I can't believe it, I'm willing to bet they're not paying their nurses any less, or any less than we are. So I can't believe that they've cut expenses that way, because the competition for skilled work, labor in general is so tough.
And I asked her, I said, what do you think why you are not getting the Medicare people either? And it's because they don't want to stay homebound. They've been in the hospital 2, 3, 4 weeks. They don't want to have that status of being home anymore. They want to be able to go out.
So if you're gonna have Medicare cover it, it's because you cannot leave.
You cannot leave, you have to stay home.
Plan covered.
And if they aren't homebound, you can't put them on Medicare.
And then they come to the local public health services grant, and then once that's done, then you're paying for it.
Well, that's something we need to take a hard look at too then, because if it's on the fringe of being homebound and not, that's a choice they have to make.
And they do.
I know that, we're just, hold on. And so, yeah, I don't wanna be sick and I don't wanna be homebound, but that's something that maybe the cards have dealt me. And should the county pay for a convenience to you? There's gonna be some tough questions being asked, there really is. So,
And then the nurses, they go out and make the evaluation.
We do, and if they don't meet the criteria, sorry, we can't admit you.
Then they don't admit them.
And 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, well, we don't wanna pay privately for that.
So then that's,
but you know very well that there's cases that are on the fringe. It could go this way, it could go that way. And so just because a homebound person wants to be able to get out of the house, doesn't necessarily we should fund that. And those are the questions that are gonna have to be asked. They're not fun to ask, but
I do feel as a nurse on the field, I do feel we weed them out fairly well. When you throw, okay, you're not gonna qualify for Medicare, but do you wanna pay privately? Well, right there, they're done in an instant, they feel they're gonna have to pay them, right?
Yeah.
So then if I feel you do not meet that criteria, then I'm sorry, but you either have to pay privately or.
And again, we can look at the sliding fee scale too, as to how much you're supplementing. You know, like there are sometimes when they'll say the first, typically it's 75% of the federal poverty level, so it has to be above that, that they have to have some type of a, rate. Anything below, they can't charge according to sliding fee, because they are really needy. But there are some actually that are very low, and I haven't looked at yours for a while. If we get to that point, we could be more, we could actually make it be more so that they do have to pay a little bit more for their care. And they're always good about letting you know, based on what we have for your expenses, your assets and everything else, this is what you're gonna have to pay, and that's what they're saying. If you tell them you're gonna have to pay $40 every time we walk in, and they're like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
And like, we just raised our fee because we had that discussion in January, we just did our sliding scale fee because we go off of our cost report, which is one of our policies.
Yep.
We can't discriminate, like,
Exactly.
you can't say, well, we don't have anything. Like if someone's on the slide, the private pay, some pay the full amount, some pay the donation.
So do you need additional information for us before you schedule the meeting? Or can you schedule meetings and we can give you the additional information and then that
I guess
information?
if we knew when we have the information.
It's pretty, they can pretty much write up all of what they're doing on the public health side and the home care side. I've got a table.
I think some of the census data would be good too.
For you all.
These people need to know
Yep.
what they're gonna be looking at in the next, 15, 20 years.
Yep, and I can share that. Like I said, he'll be doing that on Thursday, and so we can definitely share. It actually shows the aging population as well as just your per capita in general, and then it'll show any even like minority changes that they're anticipating. So there's lots of.
maybe just a short bullet list, very short, that we could put in the paper too when we advertise this, of what public health does. And what would go away if, I don't know how to word it.
We gotta keep the interest.
Right.
It's one word or the other.
We gotta show them what they're getting for their dollars.
Right.
Like I said,
Okay.
once people really see what is happening, then they, I know I am, you sit down, it's something I don't mind paying for.
Right.
Someone like Owens, I have zero, angst against him receiving help, because I am so thankful that nobody in my family has the same issues.
And I don't know as public officials if you can do it, but if you had said that your mother was able to use them, and even with Otis, if you are comfortable sharing kind of your experience, that might. I don't know if you're comfortable doing that, but
I've
if you
shared
are.
that with many people already.
Yeah, so having a personal story, even from the people who are, having to pinch the dollars and figure the pieces out, that might actually help as well.
My mom worked in the nursing home for he did it, I don't know. I was down there sometimes, 7 times a day, helping him, and then we had the county in, because she was completely and totally incapacitated. And he could not have done it without the public health centers.
And my father receives services, but he's getting funded through the VA.
Oh, yeah.
Supplement that. I don't know, does that,
They pay it right now 100%, but they are good, and we have to pre-op with them. Currently, right now, they are 4 months behind in paying, and which comes back into that. And, you know, if I could, I'd drive down there and stand there and ask them to write out my check. So,
Okay,
So they'll work on just kind of getting you some, for the paper at least, some bullet points, but then we'll give you more information on what it is that they provide, and we'll give you that sense of PowerPoint and all the data stuff so you can see it. I'll try to summarize it, so you're not having to look through an hour's worth of PowerPoint slides on population.
thank you again for coming.
Sure. Anytime you need me.
I think some of the information, what a different county's doing, not so much the Cerro Gordos and that, but more our size, you know, how are they?
Without a hospital, county without a hospital.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
There are handfuls. So there are 5 others of me throughout the state, and so I can ask those kind of questions as well, you know, for those counties that don't have hospitals.
Do you know any counties that are farming it out that don't have a hospital?
There are no counties that are farming anything out right now because of the,
Other than Hancock?
oh, you mean health system based?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think all those that don't have a hospital in the county are still doing their own. They're not sending it to
That would be
another
my
county.
guess.
Yeah, because they can't. I mean, typically it's that relationship with the hospital and the county, and that's why they're able to make that merger and have the county hospital or the hospitals in the county run the public health side. If you don't have one, it's just always been stacked on your shoulders to provide.
A county that doesn't have another center, like, you know, our county we're it, like another county that doesn't have a hospital and doesn't have anybody else coming in.
I can ask those questions, but I don't know if people even in my role would know that.
So the reason we don't have people coming in is because of our proximity then?
Mercy pulled out because they weren't making them, from what I understood.
Yeah. Even places like Cerro Gordo, they've got Mercy who will go places, but they can choose not to have people in, so then they typically tend to send some of the higher level people throughout. It's
Probably more profit in using their resources in other directions than there is from Medicaid.
Even though they're a nonprofit, it's still about dollars.
What they have to,
all that.
nonprofits like to pay the people wages too.
It's their investment, you know, their philosophy on their investment in dollars.
really want to take care of the people of the county. Well, you know, that take care of the county.
And that's just, I think, the education and awareness, you know, like we're saying, we need to have people understand what that is, what's available to them even outside of the home care piece for public health, and then having kind of that, I don't want to call it security blanket, but knowing that if you need it, whether it's you or, you know, it could be my great aunt that's somewhere that we're wanting to make sure is taken care of.
Or your child.
Very few people that would have a problem with people who need it. The problem is there's some that seem like they don't deserve it because of their choices in life. But, yes.
I thought the same thing, you know, it is tough to have to deal with that,
Yeah.
but anyway. But that's, yeah, Wayne,
I'd like to make a comment on public health.
yes,
Public health saved me thousands of dollars, saved me a lot of heartache and headache. It allowed my wife to die at home the way she wanted to. I'm all for public health. I support it in any way that's
Same
way.
thing with my mother.
And that's why we want to have some public forums to get that kind of input towards our decisions. One of the things about public forums you have to realize, if you're going to get elderly input, you're going to have to be careful to not have them all at night.
Yeah.
You can either have to do it on a Saturday or during the middle of the week or something.
But it's elderly.
I'll tell you what, that goalpost is getting moved further back every year.
I was gonna say, I can't make it at 8 o'clock sometimes either.
83, 838, I can tell you that. And we do appreciate public health. My wife's been on Medicare and 5 years with ovarian cancer, and when PH came in, help in the shower and things like that, definitely. Supervisor.
Then maybe one of the meetings can be here, at one of our meetings, to have conference.
Well, the elderly is what built Winnebago County, so there you go.
We can always use the term older islands, too. Older Winnebago residents and elderly, that gives you kind of a.
Seasoned,
Right, there you go. Yeah.
seasoned citizens.
Well, apparently AARP thinks I'm an elderly since they've been sending me things for 15 years.
Yes. My dad recently, they have in our school district that you can get a senior citizens pass, you know, if they're over 65, and he's like, he wants to scratch it out right there on pass at the top because he doesn't feel like he's a senior citizen, but he's 70, so.
Wayne Johns.
Well, Wayne, I would say you're looking good, but a friend of mine would tell me about every 6 months, the 4 stages of life. You're young, you're middle-aged, you're old, and you're looking good.
Bless you, Mike.
My grandmother always said that by the time you get your mind right, your body's too decrepit to do anything about it.
Okay,
All right.
anything else you want to discuss?
You want to bring up open forum, see if Palmer has anything?
Palmer, you got anything you want to say? Okay,
All right.
Okay, we promise this time.
I hope so.
then I'm going to, if there's nothing else to say, adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Come homebound.
What's that? I feel like I'm homebound now sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So do you know for sure who you talked to down there? What's that?
Teresa Watkins is friend.
No, down at the state on the,
Yeah, Molly's, I gave.
I agree with you.
Say the name.
She should be at least informed
I'm
a little.
a little incensed, because number one, you just made us look bad.
Yep.
Number two, I'm a little incensed that our nurse over here, or whoever it was, because they're not informing their PIOs the proper information. I'm a little bit incensed by that.
Say that again.
However,
Say it again.
they're not giving the proper information to their PIOs, their public information officers. So I come up with a question like this, and they say, yes, I'm in charge of this, and then they don't know what's going on, and then I look bad.
Yeah.
We all look bad, that's okay. But here's the key thing. You just let the county know through the YouTube and everything else, that's exactly what the situation was, and it's first conversation. Because there are people who are concerned about this.
Yeah.
Especially with the taxes as high as they are.
Oh, yeah.
And getting higher, and there seems to be an issue with regards to